Ugh. Hello. We have moved on out to the living room so that everyone can sleep since school and work are back to work, back in business tomorrow. Matter of fact, sorry, care everywhere out here. Anyhow, you may hear if you have headphones on, you might hear some craziness going on in the background. That is just the kittens who are insomniacs with me. See, I didn't know that when you get pets as babies, and you spend like all night playing with them, that they think that that's how like life really is. And as they get older, they switch their days and nights, and they sleep all day, and then they're just up all night. And then when you decide not to be an insomniac anymore, they're like, "What the fuck?" My fur babies are having a breakdown. Oh, I didn't get to the comments. Here we go. Hey, Bridget, what's up, guys? What's up? So listen. We're going to do a couple things before I go into, hang on, tonight's video. Okay, here we go. Now I got it. I have myself, my super chat thing pulled up over here. So I will not make the mistake of missing super chats if I don't know, but if they come, they will be shouted out. I just was using a new program, did not know that they didn't highlight it. So yes, ma'am, I'm married to a woman and I support Trump. I voted for him in 2016 as well, ma'am. He didn't do anything to affect my rights. He never even threatened to. As a matter of fact, Trump made it, he fought for rights of gays in countries like Bahrain, which still stone and throw gays off buildings. He has made it so that the United States will not do business with any country that kills gays for being gay. Amen. Donald and mother effing Trump. I'm good. No, I mean, in real honesty, I guess some people might wonder what, as a gay woman, Trump's done for me. But I mean, I'm here all night. I spend every day telling you how my vote affected my life for the last 4 years, and hopefully for the next 4. Let's get to how is everybody? How is it? Is John here yet, y'all? Is John in here? Because I want to make sure that either John or shit, I didn't text Clay. It's probably too late. Clay's been working. All right. Regardless, I'm going to get to work. Before we start anything, here we go. I want to give everybody, hang on, I want to give everybody a little piece of happiness to think about. Because when it comes to the elections, this is where, hi, Shelly Shaw. This is where it's, I better go back, hang on. Let me just make sure I share the audio as well. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. Betsy, hi, Betsy. Trump 2020. You know it. That's what we're here for. I'm here to show you the plan. Now, if you're with me tonight, I'm out here at 11 o'clock at night holding this live for you because I have something very special to show you. Sorry if you can't see my face. Let me just do this really quick. Okay? This is the Palmieri report. I mean, I don't necessarily know who that is. However, I know that Jacob Palmieri. I know that I went to a couple sites. Betting odds were all up for Trump on all betting sites. But let's just talk about these betting odds, okay? The betting odds on Trump will win the U.S. election has increased greatly in the past 24 hours. Oopsie, didn't mean to do that. I do it every time. It says 12 hours ago, he was at 16-1. 24 hours ago, he was at 27-1. Now he's at 9.4-1. Something is happening. They want you to think this election is over. It isn't. The betting markets tell us that. President Trump took to Twitter once again to let America know he is confident he will win this election. We are making big progress. Results start to come in next week. Make America great again. We will win. Kyle Becker, it's on. We all know what that's about. Now you guys gotta remember, I got a clicky finger, sorry, that Bill Barr is the one that came out months before the election against mail-in ballots, saying that it would definitely there would definitely be major fraud with the mail-in ballots. He is saying they're probing substantial allegations. Okay. Today it says Bill Barr met with Senator, I don't know who that is. 7 p.m. Barr authorized the election. Yep. Obama lackey Pilger resigned. We talked about him last night. All right. So pretty much here is betting odds are up, baby. Betting odds are up. Why is that, Kate? You say? Well, we're going to do a mini review tonight of my channel. Okay. We are going to, oops, should I keep up on that? Oh, Bree Bree's here. Hi, Bree Bree. And Lisa. All right. Anyway, we are going to, let me just skip back over to here to see everybody. We're going to review a video, not a whole video, but it's so important to me that you see this information that I cannot just put the link in my stream. I cannot just show you a portion of it. I need anybody who cares about this election to pay attention to this tonight, this very first video that it's going to be, there's no way to give it to you but to give it to you. You know what I mean? I can't just sugarcoat it for you. I need you to see the whole thing so you understand that Trump is aware of this. He's been aware of this. He was aware of it in June, May, maybe even earlier. But I'm thinking somewhere in the spring. He's had months to plan. Just like they war gamed, Republicans have their outcomes as well. This entire facade that we see. Think about this. Put it in, okay. Everybody take a step back for a second and pretend in your head that Donald Trump was down all night, right? Joe Biden had a consistent curve up, a very fair curve, no funky business, no straight up lines, consistent, a proven mathematical pull away from Donald Trump, right? Right? Now, let's say at the end of all that, no, how no, because that doesn't, it's the people, when you use Joe Biden and Donald Trump, it doesn't work because then you just get partisan. How do I put it this way, okay? If it was the other fucking way around, I think we would be wound the fuck up too. If we spent an entire week thinking for real that Trump had won, he really won, he really won, he really won. They were telling us all this on the news, every mainstream news channel. He's standing in front of a president-elect sign. Oh my God. He's out making speeches and talking about transition teams and speaking to foreign powers and all this. When he can't even say his own name half the time. Who's making these calls for Joe Biden? Please tell me not Joe. Listen, this was planned and there was people planted in all of these leftist agencies, Sunshine's group, Antifa, BLM. Every local chapter across the country had somebody undercover in it. I'm telling you that because the president was not dumb. He knew what he was doing, and he's had this information long enough to plan for it. Here, we are going to talk about it. Okay. Let me go back to the channel. How did I end up? Here we go. We're not watching this whole thing, but you need to watch at least, we need to watch the first few minutes.
Against the mainstream media and say, you're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeigh's? Fuck you.
That's right, Andrew. Rest in peace, Andrew. This isn't it. Where is her video from this morning? Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Sorry, I'm looking for a video. Where is her video from this morning? It's gone. They took it down. They took down her whole video with all of, hang on guys, just give me a second so I can see what's going on here. It was on one of my lists, so I know if they took it down, it won't be on here. So let me just look at this other list really quick. Shadowgate I got. Here is the one, oh my gosh. All right, here we go. This is what we're gonna do. Kate, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm just gonna pull up this here. Actually, I'll bring you live with me in 1 minute here. So this is, it's not over. All right, hang on here. We got it. Oh, no, don't click. Don't click. Oh, you stink. There we go. Go down. Keep going. Almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I always have these ready for you, and something happened. I think they may have deleted her video. I'm just double checking to see if YouTube has literally removed this video from existence, and it has. Oh my God. I watched this video today, guys. It's gone. It's gone. It doesn't exist now. It was put out late last night. As a matter of fact, I shared it on Facebook, which I imagine if it's no longer on here, then it probably does not exist on Facebook either. It's gone. I am blown away right now. Doesn't matter. I can still take you back. It's not the point, though. Okay, we're going to do this. Hold on. Okay, 1 minute.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. I'm Millie Weaver, and tonight I'm going to be going over the latest election results. We're going to go over election updates and what we can expect next in this process, where President Trump has now been filing lawsuits, voters are demanding audits, and we've already seen many people come forward with testimony as witnesses to systemic election fraud. That includes a USPS postal worker who has now submitted an affidavit.
Oh, I love you.
So I'm going to be going over the latest election results news. But, first...
Since I have to pause this from time to time, I'll shout out chat stuff here and there. What about those toys by Alert? Watermark was in the paper with tracking. You got it, girl. You got boy, girl. Sorry, I just have a thing. Yes, we'll talk about watermarks and other things that he used to track the election fraud soon.
I just want to say, is anyone else buying this other than the Democrats who obviously have a bias for wanting to ignore objective reality? I know you're not, and neither am I. And we're not alone. In fact, we are many people. When we see this change and support.
Sorry, I'm trying to skip ahead to so I don't use her whole video.
Hello, everyone, and good.
Hang on, here we go.
You think that they should be checked for ballots in such a contentious election, wouldn't you? But that isn't what happened. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Outside of the Philadelphia Convention Center, and there's potentially some more fraud going on this evening at about 10, 11 p.m. What time is it right now? What time is it happening?
12:01.
It happened about 11:30?
11 p.m.
Okay.
So I'm a volunteer with the Trump campaign. I was
Oh,
told
Bree,
to
you
go
are
to the
so
Philadelphia
right.
Convention Center to wait in the lobby to see if
Fraud
I
is not, Trump
saw
is not
anything
committing
suspicious.
fraud.
The
Trump
main
is
thing that we were
committing
looking for were
justice for
large
the
groups of people coming
people.
in with
He's
suitcases,
exposing election fraud
bags, and
that
people
has
there
been
for maybe
planned
no
for the
more than 10 or
last
15
3.5
minutes, and we saw a
years.
steady stream of individuals.
It's gone, Shelly?
coming
Oh
in
my
with
gosh, that's
backpacks,
crazy.
Purses, getting in, going through the metal detectors. They had credentials
Wow.
to get in.
I know it's
We also
just
had At
gone.
least 40 to 50 individuals with
But I can use
backpacks
other pieces to
coming
show you
through
guys this
in the
stuff. Hold
past
on.
hour. We specifically brought this up to the Philadelphia Police Department. They said we're going to check with our superiors, let you know if you can check the bags. I asked multiple times. Finally, a deputy commissioner inside came up to me, was questioning me, was being very aggressive.
This isn't it. And this is, you guys can go, this is long. She's got hours and hours and hours of evidence of voter fraud, okay? So you're more than welcome to go check this out. I'm really upset they took down the video. I almost want to go check Facebook, but I know what's going to happen. I should have shown it this morning. I was literally going to show it this morning and have a review of it. It was a 30-minute video that would have changed so much. People would have understood what was going on. It's sad. But all right, let's keep going. Hang on. And, if I don't have anybody in here, do I have a mod in here? I have no mod. Oh, John's in here. Okay. Well, no, John's not in here right now. I need a mod because we got some weird. Oh, God. Here we go. Let me see. You know what? I know somebody who has definitely been around long enough to be a moderator. Hold on a minute. I hope she don't mind. Boom. Hope you don't mind, Pumpkin. I need you tonight. So anyway, let's ignore all the bullshit. I need to show you something very important. What happens if no candidate receives 220 in the Electoral College votes, guys? This is about continuity of government. This is about, this was planned. I want you to see what the date on this is, guys. This isn't 2020. This was 5 days after the election of 2016. No, excuse me. 2016's election was the 8th. Okay. So this is election day on the 8th of 2016. This wasn't this year's election. They were already planning a scenario very much like this in 2016. Only, well, things didn't work out that way for Miss Clinton, as we all know. Okay. As outlined, I want you to understand. It says, what happens, whoever reaches 270 in the Electoral College emerges victorious. Is it actually possible for nobody to get the votes? What happens in that scenario and who becomes president is key to what's happening right now, to throw off the entire country, to make us conservatives and independents who lean conservatively or just sick and tired of lunatic leftists who try to use dead black men killed by cops as a reason to loot Louis Vuitton. As if I'm that fucking stupid to take that and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. No. Look, they're planning this and they think they expect us to react one way, and we haven't, because we know we're on the same wavelength Trump is when it comes to, wait a minute, there's a way to do this. He's 8 steps ahead of them, is what I'm saying. He's already prepared for all of their moves. As outlined in the 12th Amendment of the Constitution, if both candidates fail to reach 270, the election goes to Congress, which we know now has much, much less of a majority. And right now, Pelosi is hanging by her fingernails as Speaker. The newly elected House of Representatives selects the president from the 3 individuals who receive the most electoral votes. This means a third-party candidate like Gary Johnson or Evan McMullen. This was in 2016. This time, I'm not sure who was on there as third party. Would technically be an option if they were still able to win a state, or if they were able to win a state. Each state delegation gets 1 vote in the House contest. So it's not as if all 435 members are voting individually. Instead, the whole state is getting 1 single vote for the president. Understand? Okay. Republicans at this time currently control the House of Representatives. They don't now. They barely do. We control Senate. And Democrats are not, they did end up winning it back in 2018, not 2016. So that doesn't really apply now. Now, think of what I'm telling you. Democrats currently control the House of Representatives and aren't expected to win it back. No, they didn't win it back, but they came damn close. Scenario, which means we have a mandate. They've had, listen, if AOC is trying to preach unity between her and Nancy Pelosi right now, she's desperate. She's saying we have to stick together for the next 4 years or we're not going to be able to get anything done. Okay. Anyway, it says, so the scenario where no one hits 270, in this case, 2016, would likely be good for Donald Trump unless there's some sort of Republican revolt against the nominee. After all, the state delegations have absolutely no obligation to vote for the person who won their state. So if Evan McMullen were to win Utah, come on, why is my mouse acting like that? Okay. So if Evan McMullen were to win Utah and therefore become eligible in the House contest, some delegations could theoretically rebel against Trump and pick McMullen instead. This was in 2016. However, now, no third party option, just because your state electors said, the people want the votes to go to Joe Biden. Many states don't have a law saying that these delegates must take that, must vote the way that the electors were picked. No, they get to vote for who they want. Just because Joe Biden won the state in the election does not mean that those electors will go in and vote for Joe Biden. There's a very good chance they will not. Listen, it gets better. If the House cannot decide, which because right now it's so close, such a thin line, we very well could end up in a really screwed up situation. And I think it might be the one way they get us to react. Excuse me. If the House can't decide on a new president by the time Inauguration Day rolls around, the VP-elect will serve as president until the situation is resolved. Okay. Kamala Harris, right now, that's who they'd be calling the VP-elect, right? So if by Inauguration Day, Trump's still fighting in the courts, even though he may have a case, they could be fighting to have Kamala Harris stepping in as president. Gets worse than that, though. Excuse me. If a vice president hasn't been selected, the Speaker of the House serves as president for the time being. Who doesn't see Skeletor? Oh, here comes the cat. Here she comes. Up over my head. Hold on. Baby, what you doing, princess? Come here. Come here. Okay. So anyway, can't you see Nancy Pelosi pulling this power grab shit in the back of your head? Like somewhere in the back, can't you see that? Like see her actually planning this power grab? No computer. Sasha. Sasha. No. Good girl. No. No. Go. She's so cute. Okay. Speaking of vice president, how is that person selected? Although the presidential contest goes to the House of Representatives, when no candidate reaches 270, come over here, electoral votes, it's the Senate that gets to choose the vice president if this occurs. Republican Senate. If with senators picking the two individuals who receive the most electors in the electoral Congress, each of the 100 senators gets a vote. Like the House, the Senate is controlled by Republicans now, with GOP occupying, I believe now it's more than 54 seats. We picked up more seats, but it's Senate that picks the vice president, not the old or the new Senate that picks the vice president, not the old one. The Senate that just got voted in with more Republicans on it actually picks the vice president. Therefore, it's a Republican Senate and they go and they have their 100 votes. They very well could vote for Mike Pence. Hold on. And hang on. But it's and not the old one. There's a substantial chance that the Democrats will win back. That doesn't apply to this. This is all from in 2016. And it says if we could be looking at a Donald Trump, Tim Kaine White House. No, well, that didn't happen. We all know that. So you guys really need to learn a little bit about the continuity of government and the 12th Amendment and what happens if no one gets the 270. That's in their plan. Okay? Now, let's watch it. I have a video I want to share with you guys that is very important. And then we're going to go over the article about it. Let me get to this one. Yeah, we'll go here and then I'll move it from here. Okay. 12th Amendment. Oh, be quiet. What happens if no one gets the 270? There. Sorry, I forgot to mute it. Anyway, here we go. That's got to be weird. You watching me, I'm watching me. Okay. All right, let's go to the hammer. This is important, guys. The hammer. That's where we're headed next. Where is it? Oh, way down there. Okay, so we're going to... What are you doing? Don't do that to the tissue. No. No. What are you... Sasha, you're vicious. You're vicious. Here, that's all you get. No more. It's going to be a long night. Okay. we're going to talk about do this in order. How do I do this in order? Hold on. Stop this. We're going to come back here. I need to share the page first and then the video. Hi, everyone that I'm missing in the comments. I promise I'll go back and look at them in just a minute. I swear to God. Okay, here we go. So it goes this one first. If there's one, where's the rest of them? Here they are. Boom. First, we're going to share this. Got it. Now I know what I'm doing. You, miss. I need you to come over here. Come on, Sashi. Come on, up on the back, up on the top, Sashi. There's my pretty princess. Okay. Listen, guys, I know what you're going to say when you see this letter. I know what YouTube's going to do maybe monetization-wise when they see this letter. Oops. But, oh, good. Thank goodness. I'm loving you right now. Loving you. Oh, thank you. Right. Yeah. Same scenario if they don't certify the election in December. Okay. So here, this is how I'm going. Let me just go back and change this so you can see the whole page. There we go. All right. Yes, this is a Q, whatever you want to call it, you know, QAnon press, whatever. I know it's already going to get me in trouble. Look at the date. This is before the election even happened, and they knew what was going down. The hammer and scorecard are the key to the coup. Here is a summary of a multi-year investigation by a national security journalist, Mary Fanning, and Alan Hammer of the American report into supercomputer surveillance system known as the Hammer. Okay, we're going to click on it real quick. Oops. Oh no, it'll go back. There we go. All right. The Hammer. You can see, let's see what's going on. There's some other stuff going on right now, but I'll look at that. Lieutenant, here, in the Americans report, here we go. This is what I want. Okay, guys, here we go. Ready? Listen.
Faith, spiritual values, moral issues.
If you want to lie, this is people that they did spy on. And
all of us, and I think
they're both.
But all of these things that we're talking about now impact, because these are worldview issues that impact all of us. And I think there are a lot of parents and grandparents today that are like you and me. We understand.
As he's talking and getting to the point that I need you to hear, I need you to read the bottom, or unless you want me to. But it talks about how in February of 2009, Obama commandeered a very powerful supercomputer system known as the Hammer. The Hammer includes an exploit application known as scorecard that is able of hacking into elections and stealing the vote. According to CIA contractor turned whistleblower Dennis Montgomery, who designed and built the Hammer. The whistleblower tapes, which we actually have, are from Judge Murray Snow's courtroom in 2015, revealed that scorecard was deployed by the Obama team against Florida election computers to try to steal the 2012 election on behalf of Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. Scorecard is now being activated to steal the vote on behalf of Joe Biden once again. Biden utilized the Hammer and scorecard while running for vice president in 2012. Votes are again being stolen on his behalf as he runs for president. And this is in October, you guys. They knew this in October. Okay. The Hammer is the key to the coup. Here it goes. Okay. Here. I wish there was like a way I could. Yeah, it doesn't have. I have to read it to you. That sucks. But I will, because it's going to explain everything. Do you guys remember when WikiLeaks released those CIA tools? Well, check it out. Holy cow, somebody's going crazy in the chat. What's going on? Hi, finest, my love, my sweets. Breeby's been holding it down for you, though, because I think John might have fell asleep. I don't like when our chat gets like that. What's going on? Holy cow, why do people come here just to start problems? Anyhow, Hammer, guys. Hammer was in the Vault 7 leak, the WikiLeaks leak, remember? If you weren't around in 2016 paying attention to all this, then I can't go back and explain all that to you. Google Vault 7 leak. Julian Assange sits in the worst prison in England right now, awaiting his extradition to the United States for releasing much other stuff. But the reason he really pissed them off by leaking these tools, by showing that they were using the tools in the 2016 primary and election. Hillary Clinton had to stop. She could not use them because he exposed how they faked the Russian hack. He exposed all the tools they were going to use to steal the primary in general, and therefore she backed out last minute and tried to run against Trump straight up and lost like the dog she is. So, hammer is the key to the coup, says U.S. Navy Admiral James Ace Lyons. He proclaimed this to Air Force Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney, who led the largest, Lyons led the largest military command in the world. The Navy Pacific Fleet spoke those words to General McInerney and one final time as McInerney sat beside Admiral Lyons' deathbed. Dennis Montgomery designed and built the Hammer foreign surveillance supercomputer to keep America safe after 9/11. To keep America, it's always the line they use, yo. Your safety, your safety, your safety. It's like, are you kidding me? You do not have my safety in mind. He's a software designer and computer expert who works as a government contractor for CIA, FBI, NSA, and Defense Department, according to military sources. The troll is making different pages. I can see that, Bree. I figured as much. You're staying on top of it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Finest, you see all that? Oh, all right. I don't know if it was really Soup Bone, though. I thought Soup Bone was cool with my show. I thought it was just somebody making up different names. And then there's a couple other ones too. I mean, I don't want anybody to holy cow, there's a lot of them. All right. Finest, you and Bree work it out. I don't have time. If I get all caught up in that chat, I'm not going to do my work here. So you guys will figure it out for me. Love you. Thank you. Heads up, guys. I've been contacted by a mother of a boy the mother's in Wisconsin. The boy is apparently in New York, her son, and he's missing. And she's reached out to me to help her find her missing son. And I think we're going to do a series. We're going to do a live series on it and see what we can come up with. This is PM. Okay, I see you, PM. Thank you, sweetheart. I see you. Okay, so according to military sources, the Hammer was a powerful foreign surveillance tool intended to monitor terrorists. Of course, it never monitors terrorists. Come on. It says there has been a wiretap on Trump for years. Well before this election, guys. Brennan and Clapper used the Hammer to spy on the Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, 159 Article 3 judges, FISA Court Presiding Judge Reggie Walton, members of Congress, Wall Street executives, Rudy Giuliani, General Michael Flynn, Donald Trump, Trump Tower, multiple Trump businesses, members of the Trump family, all according to this whistleblower from the CIA who built the supercomputer himself. He asserted that Brennan has spied on Donald Trump because the CIA fears Trump. According to the whistleblower tapes, Brennan and Clapper wiretapped Donald Trump a zillion times. There has been... Oh, I thought it was different page, or I thought it was somebody just making it over and over again. Oh, wow. Okay. In an interview, it says, there's been a wiretap on Trump for years. FBI Comey took possession of 47 hard drives of illegal surveillance from this whistleblower, Dennis Montgomery, under 2 limited immunity agreements. According to Montgomery, now remember that, guys, that was right before Trump came in, a year before. The summer before Trump came in, when the primary was going on, some guy from the CIA, I'll never forget this, they said he managed to get out with 47 hard drives of dirt. And so they were gonna prosecute him. Obama was going to prosecute him, and he basically he handed the hard drives over to Comey, which was the worst thing he could do. But at the time, he had no choice. Comey was, he just wanted not to go to prison for life for getting it out, but he wanted it to have meant something to actually get the information out to the people. Okay, so it says in December of that year, the FBI had verified the 47 drives. Montgomery received greater immunity. He provided testimony inside sensitive compartmented information facilities at the FBI Washington field office under oath, being videotaped for 3.5 hours before U.S. Attorney Deborah Curtis and FBI agent Walter Gardenia and William Barnett. March 4th, President Trump on Twitter accuses Barack Obama of wiretapping Trump Tower. March 7th, WikiLeaks dumps CIA Vault 7 that confirmed the existence of the hammer. 3 days after Trump makes the biggest accusation in all of political history of an overwhelming spot, a deep-seated, deep-rooted, decade-long spy campaign taking place on Donald Trump and his family, and at this very same time, exactly 3 days later, WikiLeaks, who was very precise about their drops, who had been actually hinting to this for a while, which is why, for some reason, I believe Julian Assange, as much as everyone says he is where he's at, and I'm not saying I believe he is being kept alive right now there. I believe that is the only place that Donald Trump can assure that he is not killed. And I think when the time comes, he is going to bring Julian Assange over, and Julian Assange is going to blow the lid off of everything for a pardon. Maybe even Edward Snowden. That'd be nice. Okay? So these 2 hacking tools, why are you talking about these hacking tools to me? Because these hacking tools were used in this election, says a CIA lawyer who has expertise and knowledge in identifying this tool's use in elections. Now, let's roll down. I have something I think you need to see. Hang on. All right, so on September 27th, 2019, Deborah Curtis, U.S. Attorney, left her position as lead prosecutor on the Michael Flynn case. On December 3rd, Curtis received classified information from Montgomery about the hammer and about the illegally harvested surveillance about General Flynn. So, Curtis knew about it 4 years before. She finally left her position. Shit got deep. Okay? Excuse me. Here's the timeline, the whole timeline, all the way up to right here, where James Baker amends his testimony during his day 2 of his interview in front of Congress. Baker admits former U.S. contractor Dennis Montgomery told the FBI that the U.S. government had conducted unlawful surveillance against Americans, including government officials. Baker told Congress that FBI dispatched agents to receive evidence disks or other media storing allegedly a large amount of data, and Montgomery provided to the FBI. Guys, here is every single article backing up what I just read to you. You can go to theamericanreport.org, theamericanreport.org, and type in "the hammer is the key to the coup" and get all of this information, all of these links, including down bottom the audio tapes of the whistleblower saying, Trump was wiretapped a zillion times. There's a couple tapes on here, I do believe I went through. So, all right, boom, we got that. Now, why can't I see any of my new? Huh. Okay. All right. Oh, this is my sweetheart. Okay. Were you sleeping behind me? Oh, Sashi, I knew my butt was nice and warm. Okay. Oh, I love my Sashi. Okay. Let's talk about the hammer. Share audio, the hammer. Now I'm going to try to do these in order. And then we'll talk. I don't know if we'll start with this. Okay, hang on. Pay attention. Hang on.
In contesting this election. Sydney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened.
Thank you. A smile for Don only.
That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of.
A smile for Don only. Yes, we actually know about the watermark thing. I announced it a little bit ago, but yeah, Trump actually has multiple ways that he was prepared to check for voter fraud, multiple ways to catch the Democrats in their own trap, including a video I had to show you this morning, except for guess what? It's wiped off YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. I can't, literally, I tried to look it up on my phone while your video was playing. I cannot find this video made by Millennial Millie anywhere. And the posts I made sharing it, completely gone. Yes, I don't go anywhere. I don't do any CNN or anything else. I go to Newsmax and I go to OAN. That's about really it. But this is just something that Sidney Powell went on Fox. She also went on Newsmax. So, all right, here, I'm going to play it again.
In contesting this election. Sydney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of the computer systems that played any role in this fraud whatsoever. And, Joe Biden had it right. He said that he had the biggest voter fraud organization ever, and he didn't need people's votes now. He would need people later. They had this all planned, Maria. They had the algorithms. They had the paper ballots waiting to be inserted if and when needed. And notably, President Trump's vote in the blue states went up enormously. That's when they had to stop the vote count and go in and replace votes for Biden and take away Trump votes.
Okay.
I've never seen voting machines stop in the middle of an election, stop down and assess the situation. I also
and
see
all
reports
took a break.
that Nancy
they all
Pelosi's
stopped at the
longtime
same time.
chief of
Why?
staff is a key executive at that company. Richard
Sorry.
Blum, Senator Feinstein's husband, significant shareholder of the company. What can you tell us about the interest on the other side of this Dominion software?
Exactly.
Well, obviously, they have invested in it for their own reasons and are using it to commit this fraud to steal votes. I think they've even stolen them from other Democrats in their own party who should be outraged about this also.
Okay. We saw that one. I want to show you this one. This is the most important one, guys.
Well, joining us now.
Can somebody throw?
President of Judicial
hang on. Hey guys, I just want everybody to know that this is for educational purposes only. This is a disclaimer. I am just reviewing this video. I am not trying to copyright purpose, or I'm not trying to copyright it for money monetization or anything like that. Blah blah blah. Educational purposes only.
Sidney Powell, General Michael Flynn's defense attorney, former federal prosecutor, best-selling author. I want to say, first of all, thank you both for being here, and I appreciate it. So let's start with this election process.
You know what that smirk on her face says? That smirk right there on her face, it says, fuck you, we've known for months. We've known for months. We knew you were going to cheat. You think we're fucking stupid. We were prepared. You're going to be so mad when they announce Trump the winner, aren't you? You're going to loot every fucking Louis Vuitton from here to Texas and back. Oh, it's going to be amazing
We just
to
heard
watch.
from John Sullivan
Idiots
that
go
the FBI
crazy.
indeed is being diligent, is involved, and we all hope he is exactly right. Your thoughts first about the knowledge now that the Justice Department is involved in this review of the election.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that. I think there are any number of things they need to investigate, including the likelihood that 3% of the vote total was changed in the pre-election voting ballots that were collected digitally by using the Hammer program and a software program called Scorecard. That would have amounted to a massive change in the vote that would have gone across the country and explains a lot of what we're seeing. In addition, they ran an algorithm to calculate votes they might need to come up with for Mr. Biden in specific areas. I think that explains what happened in Michigan, where the computer glitch resulted in a change of votes of about 5,500 in favor of President Trump, just in one of 47 districts. All those districts need to be checked for that same, quote, software glitch, end quote, that would change the result in Michigan dramatically. The same thing is happening in other states. We've had hundreds of thousands of ballots mysteriously appear for solely for Mr. Biden, which is statistically impossible as a matter of mathematics. It can all be documented. We are putting it into materials that we will file in federal court, and we need to seek relief in multiple states to enjoin the certification of any election results.
Tom Fitton, as you listen to Cindy, that sounds like a strong case for a straightforward allegation of fraud. The two programs that she just mentioned, I'm going to ask you right now, have you ever heard of them? Because I had not heard of them.
No, I mean, there've been noises about it on the internet, but I don't know anything beyond what Cindy's reporting now.
Talking about Hammer
I
and
go back to the numbers
Scorecard.
you reported at the beginning of the segment. The president was winning on Tuesday.
Right.
He's not winning now. And he's not winning now as a result of a process that the voters can't have confidence in, the state legislatures can't have confidence in, in my view, the courts can't have confidence in. So the question is, are the courts going to undo what went on? I don't know. But the state legislatures in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, perhaps Arizona, they now have an opportunity to make a stand on behalf of the rule of law. Are they going to endorse what went on this week, or are they going to appoint a...
Let me pause this for a minute so I can do a review, just to let everybody know two things. One, a lawsuit has been filed in Pennsylvania to stop the certification of the vote. Guys, listen, you have to understand how serious this is. Pennsylvania went against a Supreme Court order. The Supreme Court said to them, stop counting ballots at 8 p.m. and every ballot that you did start to count, is counted after 8 p.m. There was like 150,000 of them, needs to be set aside so that they can be examined, because they were not examined by Republicans at all. And they're not to be, we need to know that those were the votes that came in after. No, they kept going. They changed dates. They allowed people to change their vote. They allowed people to adjust they call it cure their vote. All Democrats. Why? Because there was no Republican inspectors allowed in. The Republican inspectors were outside with cameras, begging to get in and being told no, and a cardboard put up in the windows and whatnot.
A clean slate of electors that supports President Trump. That could be the next battle. And I would think that activists interested in this issue, and if you're concerned watching this, start talking to your state legislators. And I'd start asking where Congress is, because Congress in the end is going to be the judge of the electoral college votes. And if I were in Congress, I'd be telling these states, you better keep up on, you better be honest here, because we're not going to accept your votes.
Georgia is now literally doing a recount by hand, 1,000 votes at a time. So it can, and they're going to be inspected 24/7.
Your election is a sham.
Well, let's go back to Hammer and Scorecard. Are those the names that you just used for those programs? what's being done about it, and how broadly were they used by vote counters in various states?
Oh boy.
I think they were very broadly
were used in the
but
cities,
not
the
by the
big
vote
cities.
counters. They were used by the forces in the Democratic operatives that had access to these programs through the government access points that they have, and used it illegally to change votes in this country. It's got to be investigated probably by the president's most trusted military intelligence
Amen.
officials who can get into the system and see what was done.
Amen.
But we do have some
Hi,
evidence
Kendra.
that that is exactly what happened. And they've used it against other entities in other countries. It's just been turned recently against our own citizens here to change election results. It's absolutely appalling that that can be done. And whether it's called computer glitches or something else, somebody has actually gone into the system and changed voting results.
Oops. What did I just do? Okay.
That's called intervention in our elections, irrespective of, I guess if they were Russia or China, we'd refer to them as meddling. But it's intervention, and it's also crooked as hell, rigging this election in no matter the jurisdiction, whether it's Michigan, Georgia.
Okay, I'm going to skip back for a second. Okay, hold on. I want to, because this is all part of that Q report. So we're going to come back here. We're going to come back here. We're going to go back to the Q report, and I'm going to show you some more stuff that's going to blow your freaking mind. Like, really? They have so much in this report. Tell me I didn't get rid of it. Of course I did. Of course I got rid of it. Give me 1 second. Cancel. History. Oops, come on. History. Huh, it's not here. All the ones I closed is not here. Okay, well, the Q report, hang on. If I go back to this. Yep, okay, we'll go to that one then, because I can just look at the ones that, here we go, share screen, Chrome tab. Sorry guys, I'm just getting used to this still, okay? So, okay. Where is the exposing what's in plain sight? I'm looking for it says exposing what's in plain sight. What the heck? Where is it? Ugh. I don't know. I guess I messed it up. Hold on. I'm gonna have to just go back and I'll bring it out tomorrow. Oh, right there. Biden using scorecard. Oh shit! Now I gotta go share it again. Got it. I got it. Right there. Okay. Biden uses scorecard and the hammer to steal another U.S. presidential election, just like Obama and Biden did in 2012. Guys, look at the date again. October 31st, 2020. This was days before the election. They already had it planned out and it had leaked out to the media probably through intelligence. So hang on, let me make sure. I'm going to do it like this for a minute so that I can read it with you. Here we go. Okay, so in 2009, it says I already read, that was in the other thing. So scorecard, I want to talk about scorecard because we read a little bit more about the hammer in the last one, okay? Scorecard is being activated to steal the vote on behalf of Joe Biden once again. Biden utilized the hammer and scorecard running in 2012. Votes are again being stolen. This time, scorecard is stealing votes in Florida, Georgia, Texas, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, according to Montgomery. Scorecard steals elections by tampering with the computer at the transfer points of state election computers and outside third-party election data vaults as votes are being transferred over. Scorecard uses a prismatic scoring algorithm to achieve desired results by those that control the hammer and scorecard, two CIA tools that only intelligence officials would have access to. Software vendor VR System operates in 8 U.S. states. Florida, one of the transfer points is VR Systems, based in Tallahassee. The Democrats tested this technology during their Democratic Party primaries. Otherwise, Bernie would have won the 2020 nomination easily, hand over fist. Scorecard was used on behalf of Joe Biden during the primary, and it was stolen from Bernie Sanders again. I believe that was used in the 2016 election as well as ever since Obama had it in 2009, he got it. So I believe since then, Democrats have used it in every single election to try to win. They've adjusted the use of it so that it wasn't they didn't get caught, but in all of the elections, I believe there's actual incidences where they have been caught using it. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to go back to another thing in a minute, but it says Florida registration disk removed and new disk inserted for redistricting via the Hammer computer system in Fort Washington, Maryland. They stole the Florida election via redistricting. This was, okay, obviously, guys, we're talking about in 2018. Baker testified before Congress in 2018. I'm turning the Bureau to the Bureau to describe this. So his client was an individual named Dennis Montgomery, who I believe, to the best of my recollection, said he had been a U.S. government contractor. In the course of that work, had come across evidence of unlawful surveillance of by the government of Americans, including officials, and wanted to give that information to the Bureau, which did take place. Baker confirmed he provided agents and officials with proof that there was unlawful domestic surveillance of Americans taking place. And the utmost importance to recognize that Robert Mueller's FBI supplied the computers for the Hammer. Robert Mueller. Soviet dictator said Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin famously states, "I consider it completely unimportant who in the party will vote or how. But what is important," and that's what the name of Millie Weaver's video was. It's called Who Counts the Votes, and it's gone, guys. She did a video called Who Counts the Votes, and the video was amazing because it explained exactly how they did this. Never mind, I'm going somewhere. It's got to be on Facebook. Give me 1 minute, please. I'm so upset about this. I had this video ready for you guys, and it's just literally gone. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I know that I had it, and I know that, wow, that's not mine. Where was the last post I shared here? Okay, so where's this morning? Georgia orders recount. Beware of this list. Where is Millie Weaver? Got it, guys, I got it. Oh, yes. Hold on a second. I found it, guys. Oh, my God, I'm so happy right now. Don't go anywhere. I found Millie Weaver's Who Counts the Votes. This is so important. We're right where we need to be. I wonder if it's going to let me play it. Oh my God. They forced it into private, you guys. We are being censored so much. Do you see that, guys? Do you see that? Do you see that? I literally can pull up. Hang on. I literally can pull it up, the thumbnail of it on my post on Facebook. And look, it's right here. Must see this. Oh my fucking God. This is what I put. Explains everything. What they did, guys, was they went to the SEIU union, labor union. Okay? Thank God find us. I'm glad some people watched it. Thank God, because I should have shared it as soon as I got it. But anyway, she explains that what the Democrats did was, we were all dealing with Corona lockdowns, and I know I was working for the census, and they were real big pushing for the census. In the background, Democrats were going to labor unions only. SEIU and federal conglomerate of labor unions only. And they were putting out the call for poll workers. Mass amounts of poll workers only in the swing states. They wanted to make sure they trained this new mass amount of poll workers, and and basically trained them in a way that they were expecting violence and volatile reaction from Trump supporters, and on our end, and threats. And so basically, just telling these poll workers, and that explains my experience at the poll, why they were so brash and rough with me, because they had these people thinking because I had a Trump hat on and a Trump shirt, I was going to come in there and bomb the place. I can't believe this video is gone. I am blown away. Millie, that was so much work. And I'm so sorry that they did that to you, because you deserved credit for that. Hey guys, I don't get to do this too often. Yesterday, my twins turned 14, and I just want to say happy birthday to them, even though we don't get to see each other. Somewhere out there, they had a birthday, and I hope they enjoyed it. All right. What page, Pam? Machines? Yes, machine. The Dominion machines. Yeah, the one that's on my thumbnail tonight. You can see a picture of the Dominion machines, and they were the exact machines I put my ballot in Little Hamlin, New York. Okay, guys. Sorry, I got a little off. Oh yes, much love. Absolutely. All right, I'm looking for something to put back, or the next thing to put up here. Okay, share screen. Let's do this. Guys, let's talk about some scary stuff. Let's talk about, if everything I've told you tonight doesn't come through, and for some reason at the end of all this they're able to, first of all, before that, I want to show you this. It's a 30-second video. You guys, I live in New York. You know what Cuomo's doing. My wife works at a restaurant. She's a cook. They had some Karens come in there, and these Karens basically have been constantly telling on the restaurant, and everybody is seated, no matter how packed the parking lot is. Everyone is seated 6 feet apart, no matter what. And the mask policy, all that. But they're really trying to break these small mom and pop businesses. It's sad. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know Cuomo just made it a rule they have to close. First, this morning it was midnight. By tonight, it was 10 p.m. They're closing these restaurants and bars earlier and earlier. Before long, they will be closed and locked down again. And, oh, thank you, Bree Bree. Thank you, Pam. Oh, honey, you didn't get no maggoteers over here. See this? Hang on a second. There ain't been no maggoteers. Can I tell you why? There ain't no maggoteer. Let me just put you right up there, baby girl. Or boy, or whatever you are. Excuse me, boy. Conscious person, type person. No maggoteers in this place. You know why? Because in the end of this, they're giving it to Trump. It's part of the plan. They want you to go crazy. They want you to cause riots and loot and destruction and delegitimize the election for another 4 years. They never intended on Biden and Kamala to run anything. They intended on completely destroying Trump's legacy. And the thing is that they tripped over their own shoelaces, honey, because that information got back to Trump in March. So he had all this time to prepare for it, which is why we knew hammer and scorecard were used, which is why we got Georgia down on their knees begging to let us do a hand count without a lawsuit. Please let us do a hand recount, please. Okay, Georgia, we'll give you a chance. Pennsylvania went against the Supreme Court. What do you think is going to happen there? There's no maggoteers from these eyes. Matter of fact, there ain't even no bags under them. I'm sleeping great. Because I know Trump's known about this for months. And I know he's letting y'all hang yourselves, just like the thumbnail says. So get drunk on whoever's crying out there. I haven't seen one yet. I haven't even seen one really get mad. Really? We knew this was coming. Did I not just show 8 articles that were dated for October, June, March of this year, showing exactly how you morons were going to do it, and you still did it that way anyway? You think you might have changed your plan an eensy weensy bit, but you didn't. No maggoteers here. So enjoy yourself. I hope you like the chat. They're a great bunch. All right. Let's go back and do what I was ready to do, which is some of the people that, which is kind of funny because it's like Joe Biden took every single Democrat that lost their races thanks to his cheating, and the people who cheated for him didn't vote down ballot. There's literally over 500,000 votes that are Biden only votes, meaning they picked a president. They were rushing through Biden, 10 votes, Biden. Somebody is sitting in a room filling out votes and only putting Biden, and they didn't go down instead of putting all the votes in, they had to pump out thousands very quickly. How do you do that? You only vote for the top of the ticket. Okay. Well, because of that, and because of the riots, the looting, the Antifa is a idea and a figment of my imagination, because of Black Lives Matters using dead Black men to use it as an excuse to steal from or to loot a fucking Five Below store, a Dollar Tree, really. Okay, because George Floyd was killed, you got a right to go steal a TV from Target. Make that make sense. Please, I'm waiting. Make that make sense. Okay, it's not going to, ever. Nothing you say will ever make sense when it comes to that. Let's talk about who Biden wants to put in his cabinet, guys. It's kind of scary. It's not who is left. It's not who the left wants in there for sure. They're kind of having buyer's remorse. If you haven't been watching, got quite a few people that are saying, "Look, Biden didn't say he was going to lock us back down. What's going on? I wouldn't have voted for him. Biden didn't say that he was going to, put neocons on his cabinet. What's going on here?" So let's check it out. Let's talk in weasel words, okay? The Biden transition team, matter of fact, I'm going to get a cigarette after that. The Biden transition team has been vetting potential candidates for months. They says they and will present I won't even say that word because it's not true. I'm sorry. Go back to the 2016 election. Go back to every election up until the day that the electors, unless they won straight. The bottom line is they tried to every single Democrat said Trump was not a legitimate president, not legitimate. Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer. I can't get Democrats' faces out of my mind. There's so many that called my president illegitimate. But now you want me to call this man president-elect? No. I'm still going to call him Creepy Joe. So Creepy Joe has potential choices in the next coming. Okay, so first he's supposed to focus on posts involving public health. So it says the president will face incoming, I won't even say the other word. I thought that was true. Okay, so Joe will face incoming several fronts, including Democrats who expect him to nominate the most diverse cabinet in history. Well, let me tell you, he's not doing that. First of all, I want you guys to know who Michelle Flournoy is. If you are a person who voted for Trump because of his anti-war stance, like, I don't know, Tim Pool, this might piss you off a little bit because your Democrats are the ones that are supposed to be anti-war. Yet Trump managed to get through 4 years without literally I think he might have dropped a couple bombs in Syria, to kind of quell things down, but he surely did not start a new war. Barack Obama took us from 1 to 7 wars in 2 terms. Okay, so let's talk about who Michelle Flournoy is. She is and this is who he wants to run the Pentagon. Michelle Flournoy, former Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, already the front runner to lead the Pentagon. A number of women and people of color are also in the mix for the top job at the Treasury, including Federal Reserve Governor. Okay, Michelle Flournoy, hang on, I need to just go from here and go to her actual page. Go over here. So, yeah, here we go. Michelle We'll see what Wikipedia says first. I'm sure they'll sweet talk it like it's nothing, right? Oops, it was a later. Okay, so Michelle Flournoy, Angelique Flournoy, oops, my pants are ripping, is former Deputy Secretary of Defense for Strategy under President Clinton. There we go. We just do this. There we go. Okay, that's better. President Clinton, first red flag. Secretary of Defense for Strategy under President Clinton. Then she was the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy under President Barack Obama, serving as the principal supervisor to U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates, war criminal, Leon Panetta, war criminal, from February 2009 to 2012. During her tenure at the Clinton administration, Flournoy was the principal author of the Quadrennial Defense Review, which advocated the unilateral use of military power in defense of U.S. interests. What does that mean? She advocated, she spoke out in favor of one person making the unilateral, meaning one person in charge of making the decision of using military power in defense of U.S. interests, meaning the president. At the time she felt the president should be able to make that decision. While serving in the Obama administration, Flournoy crafted the administration's policy of counterinsurgency in Afghanistan. We all know what that stands for. We all know what that meant. It was all bullshit, and it was just a way to continue antagonizing the people of Afghanistan so that they would be forced to fight back, and we would be there to bomb them again and again and again until they just stopped fighting back. Anyway, she also helped persuade Obama to intervene in Libya. If you didn't know about Libya, what happened when Obama and Hillary Clinton intervened in Libya? Well, the people, and because we intervened and we gave the people all these weapons and we gave them all this money and support, the people ended up ripping their president. I think he went into hiding, into exile. They were exiling him. He was trying to get out of the country. Very rich man too. I can't think of his name right now. It's just lost my Gaddafi. He's the only other. He was a president of Libya who actually he'd come up with a new form of money, and he was going to do it. He was going through with it, and because he was going to get off the petro and no longer the American dollar would no longer be used in Libya. He was making all these threats. Suddenly, America butts in. Starts a civil war in the country, which ends up ripping him out of power. He's on the streets. They kill him on the street in the most disgusting, horrid way. And then they sodomize him with weapons right there, and it's all on camera. Check that one out one time. It's definitely worse than a scary movie. 2007, yeah, this is who Biden wants to run the Pentagon, guys. This woman who's been involved in every fucked up decision to go to war since 2008. Oh, let me take it back because it says in 2007, she co-founded a Center for a New American Security, a for-profit DC-based think tank or a policy institute that specializes in national security issues. So after she left the White House, Flournoy joined the Boston Consulting Group as a senior advisor, developed $32 million in military contracts. She joined the board of Booz Allen Hamilton, a military industrial complex. I threw that one in. Publicly traded consulting firm with military contracts and cybersecurity expertise. Hey, Michelle Flournoy, can you get your hands on the hammer and scorecard? I'll make you the head of my Pentagon. She is currently the co-founder and managing partners of West Exec Advisors and senior fellow of the Harvard blah, 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 blah. Guys, Look at all this. Hang on. I can't. I gotta get a new. Gotta get a new keyboard and a mouse. Okay. Florida was in line to become Joe Biden's Secretary of Defense. Should the presumptive, since 2020 she wasn't, but now she, I guess, apparently she could run the. Okay. Florida turned her attention to China and how to prevent a war in Asia. The erosion of American deterrence raises the risk of Chinese miscalculation. In this essay, Florida argued U.S. must invest in new military technologies, as if Trump hasn't already done all of that. Prototypes, artificial intelligence, long-range missiles, escalate U.S. troop deployment to the South China Sea, Japan, Taiwan, and Philippines, and step up roving war games in Asia to show China the U.S. has this modern technology, might and will deter. Guys, she's literally ready to antagonize and start a fucking war with China. We are going to war with China if Biden gets in office. Mark my word. I swear I will come back and show this video time and time again when that lady takes us to war. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think she's going to make it into office. I don't think Biden's going to make it into office. But I also was hesitant to believe this information about stealing the election when I read it weeks before the election. I kept telling myself, no, they've got to wait. Trump's already on this. And he was, but he's just letting them hang themselves right now. So I got some other good stuff for y'all. Hold on. This damn thing. I got some other good stuff for y'all. Who watched Rudy tonight, guys? Anybody else watch Rudy but me? Oh, no, this one. My Rudy Giuliani. He's got some good stuff out. Let's see. Thank you, PM. They killed Chris Stevens. They sure did, ma'am. They sure did. A smile for Don. They killed Chris Stevens, and they covered Hillary Clinton is responsible for it, and the other four that died in Benghazi as well. That no one has taken responsibility. No one has been held responsible for the 6 months of security that he begged for, and they left them out there because we were secretly trading missiles moving missiles. The CIA was. That's what they were doing there. From Libya to Syria, because we knew that was our next stop. That was our next place we were going to start a conflict at, Syria. So, guys, see this right here, this Shadowgate 2.0. I really want to do a review of this. Let me know. Drop in the comments if you guys want me to do like tomorrow afternoonish. Do a review of the Shadowgate doc. It is amazing. It tells everything about how this whole coup started before Trump's presidency, all the things they did during the presidency, when they started this coup, and when it leaked out in the media that this coup was in place, and all the things. It's all in her documentary. So even though they're censoring her videos, I would like to do a review of her documentary. If you guys are down for it, throw it in the chat, and I'll probably do it around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Here. Oops, sorry. Anyway, Rudy is the one in charge of all the lawsuits, so that's why I want this.
How courageous you make is backed by the famous freshness guarantee.
Come on. Here we go.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani, and I'm back with.
Guys, notice something? Do you guys notice that on all the conservative channels now, when I go to play the video, nothing but a white screen is there, and you have to press skip ad, but there's no ad? No ad ever shows up? Yeah, I think that's how that's why they're keeping us in limited monetization. They're saying that no ad companies want to be in those spots. So basically they can pay us the smallest amount per video. I'm talking in 3 cents per video, things like that. Based on that ad space is there, but it's blank. It's just a blank white ad space for 30 seconds until you skip it. And I've noticed all the videos that I played tonight have that. All the videos.
Please, common sense. Okay. Today.
Disclaimer, this is for education purposes only.
And what remains of the
I'm sorry,
counting,
finest.
Because this election is much closer.
Of course you did.
Than
Great
any of the networks
alike.
led you to believe last Wednesday. And
quickly, I'm sorry to do this. Finest, hey, would you be Oh, would you be interested in being on the phone with me when I call that lady? I'm kind of nervous. Like, can I do a three-way with you? Let me know. I'm sorry. I should have just emailed you about it, but it's been bugging me all day. Like, I emailed her, but she wants me to call her, the lady, about her son, and I don't want to like trip over my words. I need somebody there to pick up for me if I start tripping over my own words. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'll definitely do the thing tomorrow for sure. Okay,
It is not determined yet.
here we go.
And there is a path to victory for the president, a path to reelection. It's not an easy path. It's not a definite path, but it's a realistic path.
Amen.
And having called this election so early, the big media, big tech, and the Democrat Party is trying to cut that off. And they're trying to cut off any consideration of it, which is outrageous, since they took over a month to allow Al Gore to contest just one state. Here, there are a number of states at issue, and a significant amount of evidence of rampant fraud. All they say on television is there's no evidence of fraud. I'm going to now show you lots of evidence of fraud. There's one thing for certain about this election. Not certain who won it. It's certain that this was the most dirty, the most fraudulently conducted election on the part of the Democrats than any in recent history. And we're going to show you just why. And we're going to begin by concentrating on two states. The state of Pennsylvania.
He sure is.
And the state of Michigan.
That's
We're
my
going to concentrate
mayor.
on
I'm
those
from
two
New York.
because
He's my New York mayor.
that's
man.
where we've been able to.
I'll never forget 9/11. I'll never forget how scared I was. I was 5 months pregnant, working at Fashion Bug, and I was young, still very young. I was pregnant with my my daughter, who was 18 now, almost 19, and I'll never forget seeing Rudy Giuliani on the news, had mask on his face because of all the shit that was in the air, literally jogging down a New York City street towards Ground Zero. Just it was very comforting. It made me as a New Yorker feel a little bit better about the situation, knowing that he is, you know, the mayor who cleaned up New York City, who brought things back to New York City, who literally changed law enforcement in New York City, as well as getting rid of the mafia. That man was now going to protect or figure out a way to, you know, to not only, you know, to come back from 9/11, but also to protect New York from happening again. And I had a lot of faith. I still have a lot of faith in Rudy. He's amazing.
Our investigation originally, and the evidence in both states is overwhelming.
Yes.
So in the state of Pennsylvania, what you basically have is a lawsuit now filed, a federal lawsuit, seeking to disqualify the votes that were not properly observed.
Hello, baby.
In fact, that weren't observed at all. Mail-in votes are inherently suspicious. By that I mean they are unreliable. This is not me talking. This is the Supreme Court warning us way back in 2004 in a case called Griffin against.
Pause it for 2 seconds. I'm gonna come right back to this. I want you guys. This is the difference, okay? This mayor of New York. I'm going to show you. This mayor of New York now proudly, patriotically putting his life in reputation on the line for the president, right? Okay. Let me show you the mayor of New York now, and what's going on with him and his. I don't even have words. I don't even have words for her and how all his decisions have been made in the most ridiculous way to suit his own personal family. One moment. Here we go. Guys, this is de Blasio's daughter.
Well, for me, it's really special because now we have the first Black Asian female president in office, elected, and Joe Biden was able to steal them out. Because there's a win.
Slip up. Oops. She said Joe Biden was able to steal. Hear it again. Steal it, she said.
First Black Asian female president in office elected, and Joe Biden was able to steal them. It's a win.
That was a slip up, don't you think? Oh, I know it's going to be beautiful. It is. Let me go back and just put that. I got to put that up there. I got to put that up there. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, mandatory vaccines, and not only that. Bree, what's that? At first, they tried telling me. Check this out. Bree says that after they tried telling her address wasn't on the list, she looks it up. Her address was on the list, and they tried getting me to vote on paper. Yeah, provisional, so your shit wouldn't count because you were trying to vote for Trump. Literally, they hold your ballot hostage. It's insane. Like, you don't even have that anymore as a choice. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to just show you the difference between mayors real quick because Mayor de Blasio has been nothing but a joke and a piece of shit, and his family and him can, as far as I'm concerned, can get the fuck out of office sooner rather than later. But okay, listen to what Biden said in October. Again, is this another slip up, or is this the truth being told right to our face?
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
His supporters know he stole, and they don't want to say. That's like the naughty word to say right now. Bree is stole. That's why she's like, oh, because they don't care that he stole it, as long as he took it from Trump, and now they don't have to listen to the orange man anymore. Listen, there's women. I saw this tweet where women were literally yelling out of their vaginas at Trump. That's what they were doing, yelling from their vaginas. Little strange. Check out Biden staffers introducing Kamala Harris as our next president. Another Freudian slip, guys.
Today I voted for all the dreamers who still can't. Because when future generations, they ask us, and they're going to ask us what it was like to elect the first woman of color as vice president of the United States, and we will say, yes, I was there, I stood up, and I was counted. Without further delay, I am so honored to introduce the next president of the United States, Senator Kamala Harris.
Oops. Yeah, nice. Slip up or what? I don't know. Oops. I don't know what to say. Some of it just drives me crazy. Hold on. Let's go back here. Okay. Ote, how is everybody now? Okay. We got a couple more things that are very important. I'm just going to clear some of this off so I can keep track of what's important. This one's next. The Rumble video. You guys need to see the Rumble video. Oh, heck. My computer's acting up again. It's the mouse. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Oh, yes. She had... Pelosi said way back, Kate, that Trump won't be that. Yeah, like she knew. She's part of it. Like if you were on when I first started tonight, hang on. If you were on when I first started tonight, I talked about the 12th Amendment and continuity of government. And Pelosi sitting as the House Speaker actually stands very. If nobody gets to 270, neither person gets to 270. There's a process of that plays out that ends up where Pelosi could possibly take the president's place until a president is elected. But first of all, Pelosi's hanging on by her own fingernails for her own job right now. Okay. Here we go. Where did I just put it up? Okay, right there. Band video, audio, and share. Okay, just make sure I am in. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. I just had to make sure it was all good. Okay, here we go.
For right now for a second, because we got General McInerney, and then he's got a ball. We'll be trying to get him back to lecture. General McInerney, thank you for joining us on War and Pandemic. You've got some breaking news we got to talk about. It's one of the reasons we have Cindy Powell here today. Something very disturbing.
Another thing we were talking about earlier is another backup to show you guys. Everyone knows this is being used.
Particularly about a guy named
Reader,
Dennis
you're
Montgomery.
absolutely right. She
What
never
is it?
played being
This
black
thing that's
before.
going around about this
Always said she was the
project or the
first
system
Indian.
called Hammer. Explain to our audience what this is and why it should be of such concern to people in this current
Yo,
situation.
y'all see that? I want that hat so bad. Oh my
yes, I
God,
will,
somebody
Steve.
get me that
The
hat.
fact is
Hold
that
on.
Hammer
Around about this
Look.
project.
Look in the back. It's a Where's Hunter hat. Oh, I would cry if I would wear it every day. I've got this. Is that the Keep America Great? No, Taking Back America. Make America Great Again. And Where's Hunter? Oh, I want a Where's Hunter hat. Okay, sorry, guys. I had to go through that moment.
To a system called Hammer.
Oh,
Explain to our audience what this is and why it
Jesus, I'm
should be
almost
of such
okay with
concern to
going
people
Kanye. You're
in this
amazing.
current
I love you.
situation that we're in.
Yes, I will, Steve. The fact is that Hammer is what we call a SIGINT, a Signals Intelligence Program that the NSA came up with years
Yeah, I heard
ago.
that Siri stuff
The
too.
CIA picked it up under the Obama administration, and I broke it in March of 2017 about what they were doing on the Russian hoax. But the fact is,
they're at the countdown of the end of his presidency.
That's right.
And the reality is, like anything else, you better get what you can while he's there, because look, come 2016, that's it.
Well, I don't know. And I think some people are missing something here. The president has put in place an organization that contains a kind of database that no one has ever seen before in life. That's going to be very, very powerful. And
In terms of the Organizing for America that he's now shifting to become a 501c4.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that database will have information about everything on every individual in ways that it's never been done before.
telling
And
on
whoever
themselves
runs
again,
for president on the
guys.
Democratic ticket have to deal with that.
But we are ready. I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday.
Situation where we had put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this.
Joe
We had
Biden.
put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American
Oh, I
politics.
gotta go back and see that. Hold on.
the Obama administration took this system
Where is it?
and they put in an application in this SIGINT program called Scorecard. And Scorecard changes votes at a certain point in the voting stream. And if I can, and by the way, the Obama administration used it in the 2012 election in Florida. And so both Obama and Biden are very familiar with this. Now, I've got to make a quote.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's
Nice.
important that we all understand it. It's by Joseph Stalin. I consider it completely unimportant who in the party will vote or how. But what is extraordinarily important is this: who will count the votes? Now, Steve, we have a
What did he just
Democrat-
say? What was the name of Millie's video, guys? Who will count the votes? The video that is now what? Banned. Who will count the votes? Why does everybody keep bringing this up? Because the goddamn unions, the Democratic Union that always ends up doing the dirty work of the Democratic Party and the DNC, mass trained a bunch of Karens to go crazy and steal this election back to save the world. I'm telling you, it's going to come out.
Democratic Party that will do anything to bring the country to a totalitarian state and as far left as they want. They used it in the primaries, and Bernie lost to Biden because they used it in the primaries. So it is ready to go. I just found out about this yesterday. Sydney
They
has
took the
played a
video
very
down,
important
John.
role in
It's
assisting
gone.
me and Mary Fanning and Alan Jones and trying to get the word out so the American people know all this enthusiasm you're talking about in Pennsylvania gets changed very quickly with this software program that switches 3% of the votes. And the fact that it was then adopted with the software packages like on your iPhone to the voting business. And it was to be used, and it was used in foreign countries. We know it's active tonight. It's active. They've been looking at a whole host of things, as has the DNC, using false IPs. And they are looking around and they're trying to set up this voting thing that happens on Tuesday night. It's going to look good for President Trump, but they're going to change.
This is before the vote, guys. I want you to listen to this, and then I'm gonna go show you some bombshells. Listen.
And that's the danger that America and everybody must realize. And so it's extremely important to what's going on. It would have happened in 2016, Steve, except something happened to it that night.
Hillary
when the
pulled
Obama crowd
out
and
of
the
fear.
Democrats tried to use it.
She's scared
I can't
and
talk
that
about
she was
it.
going to get
How
caught
do people get
because they
more
released
access to you? What's your Twitter handle?
the
Twitter
CIA
handle is at
tools.
Sidney Powell 1, SINEY, website sydneypowell.com. You can register for updates there.
Hey, I'd like to say what Leslie Anderson said.
Okay.
Have faith, pray, and let's all meet at the past.
Okay, listen. This is going to be really important. Don't go anywhere right now. I'm going to show you some bombshell shit. That Q page I pulled back up. Now that John's here, I want him to see some of this. Remember Lori Lori who sent me the Dear Mr. President thing yesterday? Lori, thank you. Hat tip. Shared this with me today, and I felt like it was of utmost importance to go completely over this with. Oh no, I didn't just do that. I did to go completely over it with you. So 1 second here. Where does it go? I just pulled it up. It's on there. It's right there. Why isn't it on here? Hang on. Give me a second. Go here. Share screen. Chrome tab. There it is. Okay. Now, guys, we already started here and we already went through the 3 videos in the beginning. The hammer and scorecard videos. Okay. Now we move on to the next part. Better news from Sidney Powell. DOJ is involved. The algorithms were used to see how many votes would be needed to surpass Trump votes. Software programs were used to change the votes from Trump to Biden. This is much more than a mail-in cheating conspiracy. Watch. I'm going to show you before you leave here tonight. Check it out. Over here, Trump is up 440,000 votes in Pennsylvania. Boom, right? He's at 1,690,000. Biden's at 1,252. Over here, 20,000 votes suddenly gone. Database updates. Trump loses 20,000 votes. Biden gains the exact amount that Trump loses. Do the math. He get 19,958 are gone from here and are now down here. What happened? You'd like to see the video? You can click on the link and watch it live. This is called QAnonpress.wordpress.com. QAnonpress.wordpress.com. Decoding the hammer. Okay? I'll try to have somebody put it in the thing, in the chat. Look. Hang on. Let me turn it up. This is another time that it happened. It didn't just happen once. Watch. Hang on. I got to restart it. There's no way to do it any other way. Okay, here we go. Back up here. Here we go. Make sure the sound's up on it this time. Boy, this thing's really starting to piss me off. Watch. I got you, damn it, he says.
1690-589. Remember that number.
Remember it. Yes, I was showing stuff about Hammer and Scorecard all night, John. Yep. That's what this is. Hammer and Scorecard in action. Right here. Boom. Gone. See? You just saw that yourself with your own eyes, but yet they're calling you a liar. Democrats use a program designed by NSA whistleblower Dennis Montgomery called the Hammer. The software can hack into every voter machine and change voter tallies. Sidney Powell, Trump's attorney, is all over this. She's a CIA attorney. We've already watched all 3 of those videos. Steve Bannon has been banned from his platforms from reporting on the Hammer. Here's a link that we just watched that. That was what I just showed you on the Rumble app. Okay? This goes into a lot of stuff, guys. If I sat here and read this to you all night, you would go, it would be conspiracies. People would be calling us conspiracy theorists all night. But there's some important things that I want you to understand. 1, the CIA's charter prohibits intelligence agency from spying on American people. But that has not stopped President Obama, John Brennan, or James Clapper from doing that. It says, Admiral Lyons was certain the deep state launched the hoax into the Russian collusion coup against Trump in order to cover up Obama administration's criminal domestic surveillance operation, the Hammer. Career CIA officer and admitted Communist Party of the United States supporter, John Brennan, was Obama's Homeland Security and White House advisor. And in 2013 became Obama's CIA director. Let me not have to go through everybody's name and title. We know most of them. The illegal surveillance operation conducted by Obama, Clapper, and Brennan constituted a complete repudiation of the Constitution. Barack Obama promised his followers, we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the USA. He asked his followers to support him and fight with him, promising to change his country, to change the world. Communist code language. Just as the Bolshevik revolutionaries in 1917 changed Russia into a communist Soviet Union. Okay, so John, this goes into some stuff that if I go into, they're going to completely shut my video off, so I cannot read it. Please go read this yourself. It is so important to understand your history. It is so important to understand your history. Goes on to talk about how basically we were infiltrated by communists during the Obama administration, and who wasn't a those who weren't communists became communists after working in that administration with those people. The American Report. Yep. Okay. Hold on. Keeping going. DIA director. Yep. Here we go. After DIA Director General Flynn called out Obama's willful decision to ship weapons to Syrian rebels that ISIS and Al Qaeda terrorists used to carry out a genocide of Christians across the Middle East, Obama developed a particular dislike for Flynn. So they spied on him and they made him the patsy, the fall guy for some bullshit that right now Joe Biden is literally doing himself. And August of 2018, Brennan told Maddow, we're putting together a fusion center at the CIA. And it goes on to basically say that this fantastical and criminal fusion center scheme is nothing other than a cover for his domestic spying program. Brennan doesn't have the right to piggyback on the FBI and the NSA charters in order to circumvent the CIA charter. He doesn't have the right to do that. at all. CIA is foreign. They're supposed to be doing foreign investigations on foreign criminal activity. And now he tries to piggyback on some shit, having a fusion center where all three departments are working together, sharing information together. Why? You don't need information on Americans. You're the CIA. You're supposed to be worrying about foreigners. It is imperative to understand why Obama and Brennan and Clapper were doing exactly Obama, Brennan, and Clapper were doing with all the information collected by the Hammer. Were they simply enriching themselves, blackmailing others, or sharing it with America's adversaries? During this August 5th, 2020 Judiciary Hearing Committee with former Deputy Attorney Sally Yates, Senator Ted Cruz asked Yates whether any other political opponents of Barack Obama who were 2016 presidential candidates were spied upon. Cruz then directly asked Sally Yates whether he himself was spied upon. Yates testified that no other candidates have been under surveillance. The truthful answer to Senator Cruz's question to whether he was spied upon himself by the administration is yes, according to Montgomery. Montgomery says co-conspirators Obama, Brennan, and Clapper used the Hammer to spy on Obama's political adversaries for blackmail and leverage, to spy on American synagogues and churches in order to harvest their personal data from their congregants, and to steal intellectual property from American businesses and law firms, patents, big money. So the Clintons were always involved in stealing patents. If you didn't know, that's just something that politicians seem to always get themselves in trouble with. Yes, John, yes. Hang on, let me go back and put that up because that is very important. Everybody knows I did bring up that connection earlier, but did the link to my Dominion software, the link to tabulate the votes and to the in this event? Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, I believe, yeah, they did, John. I'll show you in a minute. I'm pretty sure they did. They knew that Feinstein software was going to be involved because they've owned them. Her husband's owned 60% of that voting company since 2013. Hell, if I remember right, Harry Reid had a part in also. Yeah. So let me get back to this so I can show you this. Okay. Let me get all the way down because this gets into some stuff that I'm sure it kind of gets people like confused. Like, oh, that's too much, Kate, too much. My brain hurts. I can't take it anymore. So I'm going to just kind of skip around. It does say President Obama had direct access to the Hammer at will via an encrypted VPN connection. This is according to the whistleblower who created the Hammer. So anyway, CIA whistleblower attempted to stop Obama, Brennan, and Clapper's treasonous use of the Hammer. What were they looking for? It goes on. Hold on. Churches. I'm scrolling down. Yeah, here it is. Whistleblower tapes Trump wiretapped a zillion times by the Hammer. You can actually hear it yourself by the man who created the Hammer for the government. This is so far greater than Watergate. Watergate was just nothing compared to the Hammer. It's very important this be looked at right now. This is a very serious thing. Everything about the Russians stealing the elections is tactical deception. 2 years later, during the Operation Freedom broadcast, Dave Janda asked General McCurney, do you still stand beside what you said about the Hammer on March 19th? Absolutely, Dave. Even more so. I mean, the fact is, that was over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I stand by it even more, having reviewed it just yesterday. And what I said on the 19th of March 2017, that was absolutely spot on, he says. And then it says, during his original appearance on March 2017, he says, what we didn't know on that date was that That's what was presented to Barack Obama on the 5th of January, just before he left office, when they opened the investigation and he directed the FBI to look into the reason why the FBI sent 2 people over to interview General Flynn. And in that information on Kislyak memo came from the Hammer. It wasn't a normal NSA document. Well, how do we know that? Because Nunez, I can't think of his first name right now. I'm having a brain fart, but Nunez told us this information was not gathered by no normal intelligence source. It did not come through one of our Five Eyes intelligence sources. It wasn't a normal NSA document. It was a spied on from the CIA backdoor bullshit, fucking domestic theft of a document. And it couldn't have happened unless Obama was letting it happen. So that's why we've got to get John Durham's grand juries going, it says. But this goes on and on and on. And it does talk about, if I remember, here we go. As soon as the DOJ lost the stroke page text messages, the American report assembled timelines connecting the Hammer to Mueller's hoax Trump Russia collusion investigation. A full year after, hang on. Before those text messages were recovered, they were believed to be missing due to a technological failure on the part of the FBI cell phones. Not going to respond to the whole group. Jim just sent a letter. It's utter bullshit. Best to say nothing and brief later if necessary. Yeah, we all know that. She bought the president's men. We know that. I'm just looking to see. I'm kind of skipping through everything. There's a lot of stuff here we already all know about. An act of treason and sedition. The FBI buried evidence of Obama. We all know. I told you everything about the Hammer, how it's been used all along to basically spy on whoever Obama wanted spied on. That's why he is the most, when we talk about there was the most surveillance in his administration, we are not exaggerating. Okay, under immunity deal, the DOJ and FBI pick up Montgomery's hard drive, evidence in Miami, debrief him. He provides sworn testimony that Obama, Brennan, and Clapper spied on Flynn and Trump with the Hammer. This man has now testified on the stand under oath. So other than that, we are at a point where on September 27th, 2019, U.S. Attorney Deborah Curtis walked away from the DOJ. She was the prosecutor that was prosecuting General Michael Flynn. As soon as, and she was in charge of Dennis Montgomery's case. It says she stepped down from her position in the Michael Flynn case and left the DOJ abruptly, ending her lengthy career only hours after American Report published this article. Curtis and Bennett and Giardina had joined Special Counsel Mueller's Russian hoax cabal to undertake a coup against the duly elected president. This was treachery. This was treason. Baker testified before Congress, October 2018. I'm turning to the Bureau to describe this. So his client was an individual named, and it goes on about Dennis, everything I've told you about Dennis. Baker testified under oath that, basically this whistleblower came in and brought information about spying to the FBI. Okay? Guys, check this out. Jack Kemp was a mentor to longtime boss and former Speaker of House Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan now sits on the board of directors of Fox Corporation. The parent company of Fox News, Paul Ryan, was known to be a never Trumper. Among the powerful voices advising Lachlan Murdoch that Fox should decisively break with the president is former House Speaker Paul Ryan, Vanity Fair reported. Paul Ryan is openly going out against the president as he's sitting on the board of Fox Corporation, guys. Our own guy is trying to take out Trump. Our own guy. When I say the never Trumpers do just as much, or if not more damage. So it basically says, conveniently for the coup plotters, James Baker was made counsel or something like that. Keep going, Kate. Oh, what was that? More text messages. Oh, they got so much on this whole mess that they've done to him. This is all back with the Peter Stroke and stuff. Okay, General Flynn knew about Hillary. This is what I need you to understand. Okay, why this all started with General Flynn too. General Flynn knew about Hillary and Bill and their corrupt pay-to-play money schemes. He also knew about the Anthony Weiner's laptop. He knew about inside information on the Iran nuclear deal, like the money that Barack Obama claimed was Iran's, and it really wasn't. It was actually money that they blackmailed him for over the SEAL Team 6 fake killing of Osama bin Laden. They killed his body double. They did not kill him. I'm just kind of skimming. William Binney, he is also another CIA whistleblower who built another spying software called Thin Thread, and he also turned against. So yeah, this is really like you've just spent a lot of time going through this, guys. But if you care about what's going on, you will. I did. I read this, I think, a month ago. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the thing is that you get sick halfway through it. You start to feel like, wait a minute. This isn't they're not gonna get caught. They're not gonna get arrested. They're not gonna get punished. They're not gonna have the same thing happen to them as would happen to me. And then you realize there's a 2-tier justice system. Richard Grinnell, who he was the guy that was running the intelligence community as acting director as a national intelligence. It says the IC doesn't have all of the transcripts or summaries. It wasn't our product. It's odd that Adam Schiff doesn't know this, but I've already started the declassification for a few. Now, this is what I said about Trump. If they're going to play this Trump, just like he needs to break his toys. He needs to break his toys. He needs to declassify everything. Declassify the Russia hoax. Oops. Damn it. Declassify the Russia hoax. Declassify the fucking impeachment hoax. Declassify the Ukraine papers. Declassify everything to do with Hunter Biden's laptop. Declassify everything that will completely destroy any doubt in anyone's minds about what the Democrats pulled the last 4 years. And then when you're done with that, pardon Julian Assange, pardon Edward Snowden, because they are the CIA's biggest enemies, and they will hate you forever for it, Trump. They will never forgive you for allowing Edward Snowden and Julian Assange to be completely pardoned and free to walk the streets of America or any other country again. That is how you piss them off to their bones. I'm telling you guys. Anyway, I think that's about it for this. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it just goes on with more. See, Edward Snowden has there we go. See? There, I guess I can't. Great minds think alike. You start thinking of all this stuff when you realize that it all has its own connections. The term United States election means any election for federal office held on or after the date of this order. It says POTUS signs, EO, which is the executive order on September 12th of 2018. It says that the term foreign interference with respect to an election includes any covert, fraudulent, deceptive, unlawful actions attempted of a foreign government or any person acting as an agent of or on behalf of a foreign government undertaken with the purpose to affect, influence, undermine confidence in, or alter the result or report of the election or undermining public confidence. Guys, Trump signed this 2 years ago, basically saying that we have these rules for foreigners stealing our election, but those same rules should apply to domestic people here in the States. It doesn't necessarily mean foreign. It could be any covert person, it could be anybody trying to be. Yeah, that's how I take it. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Hang on a second, guys. Let's get rid of that. We got Michelle Flournoy. We got you guys. I really can't believe this, but all right, I'm gonna go back and check one more thing really quick before I let anybody go. We'll go back to Rudy. Hold on. I'll let you guys watch this for a second while I. There. Gotcha.
Against Rugas, Justice Souter announced that mail-in votes are less reliable than in-person votes. Voting fraud is a serious problem and is facilitated by mail voting. There are other Supreme Court cases that make that same opinion. So having decided to go to mail voting, pushed very hard by the Democrats, there had to be built in some very, very strong guarantees that nothing would be done that would compromise the vote. So the major issue, the major device that was placed there is observation, which follows on what happens with absentee ballots. For years, when you examine absentee ballots, it's almost routine. There are three people at least there: the counter, a Republican, and a Democrat. Each one is opened. Envelope is looked at. You check the outer envelope, which is the envelope that provides really the security, because that's the one that's not anonymous. It has the name, the address, voter identification, other things that are indicia of reliability. Right. You can check that against a voting roll. And once that is okay, both sides agree, you open it up. The ballot now virtually becomes anonymous, or should. And then, assuming there's nothing wrong with the inner envelope, every once in a while there is, usually not, then you place that in the voting bin, the votes that are going to be counted. The ones that are suspicious, you put aside.
All right, I need to look this up.
Many are put aside, 10, 20% in the usual absentee contest.
Here, this is I want you. This is a smaller version of that. Let's watch this one.
For the concerted effort on the
And
part
he
of the
actually
Democrat
shows
Party
evidence.
to
So
do
let's
this
watch
in 10
this.
different states.
Attorney General William Barr is urging federal prosecutors to examine allegations of voting irregularities before states certify election results in the coming weeks. This says the president and his legal team continued to make the case for election fraud. Joining me now is the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who's leading this election legal fight.
John, you threw up my disclaimer
tell me,
already.
sir, how are things going? Where do things stand right now?
Well, after filing the lawsuit yesterday in Pennsylvania, which supported by 50 plus witnesses that say that Republicans were excluded from observing over 600,000 questionable ballots in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and only in those two Democrat corrupt cities, really. The rest of Pennsylvania, no problem. We think we have a good chance, also when you consider the additional allegations of fraud there, to have that vote overturned and not certified. I mean, the margin of victory was only 40,000 after the president had been ahead by 700,000. And I think we can show that this was part of a concerted effort on the part of the Democrat Party to do this in 10 different states, because the same thing they did in Philadelphia, herd the Republicans in corrals, not let them see the ballot. They did it in Pittsburgh, they did it in Detroit, they did it in Milwaukee, they did it in Phoenix, they did it in Las Vegas. They did it in all these places where they have this Democrat, machine, and it's impossible that every one of these Democratic leaders woke up the day after the election with the same idea.
Thank you, honey.
Of not allowing Republicans to see the mail
John.
ballots and corral them into chutes, even though the law of their state requires that it be observed by a Republican and a Democrat. And forever, we've done that with absentee ballots. Second, we're about to file a lawsuit now in Michigan, in which, again, hundreds of thousands of ballots were cast without any observation. A Democrat whistleblower working for the board in Detroit has come forward and has given evidence of days and days of fraud, preparation for it, backdating of votes, going into the polling place with people, showing them how to vote, taking votes of people that weren't registered, and then actually going to the registrar book and registering at the time. She observed all of this. She was disgusted with it. She's a Democrat. She's come forward. She's given us an affidavit, and she's at the heart of the Democratic case that we have, which will be filed in Lansing, Michigan, which will show that well more than the margin of victory are illegal votes. And then a very extraordinary thing. Somewhere around 4 or 4:30 in the morning on November 4, right after the election, 100,000 or so ballots showed up at the headquarters. The observers were leaving at that time. So the crooked Democrats in Detroit figured they could count the ballots when the observers weren't around. However, several observers remained behind, and they have given us affidavits. And the affidavits say that these 100,000 ballots that were not properly packaged. They're supposed to be packaged in a big wooden box with an inner box and a seal. They look more like this. Some that had come in earlier in the day, they look somewhat more like in boxes like this. Don't know if you can see that.
Okay. Yeah.
See it?
And then we're laid out like that, which completely destroys the secrecy of the ballot. And then all of a sudden they began counting them very quickly. And 3 different affiants, people who have sworn under oath, this is one of them, Andrew Cito, said that all of these votes, to the extent that he heard them being called out or he observed them, were for Joseph Biden.
Okay,
and that he saw had no one else on the ballot.
Just to be clear, you're talking about that occurred allegedly in Michigan? Is that where you're saying that?
Yes, I'll read you the affidavit.
No, that's okay. You don't have to read it. I just want to make clear where you were talking about. And
I'm talking about Andrew Cito in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan, at the TCF Center. He was there from 9:30 in the morning. He remained behind when many other people left. At 4:30 in the morning, these shipment of absentee ballots came in. He was told that there were several vehicles outside with out-of-state license plates. They pulled up to the center at 4:30 and they unloaded many boxes of ballots.
Okay.
Tens of thousands of ballots were brought in and placed on 8 long tables.
Mr. Mayor, could I ask you a question about the process here? Could I ask you, so you filed suit in Pennsylvania regarding the allegations of fraud that you have. Obviously, you say you're going to go to Lansing as far as this situation. I'm kind of curious, what's the timing here in which you expect to get some sort of answer? How it turns out, what kind of remedy are you looking for?
Well, in the case of both Pennsylvania and Michigan, in fact, in every state, this election is guided by the laws of the state legislature.
Yeah, Rudy's
right. That's
right.
the state legislature that has to certify the results.
He's been loyal to Trump for
both
decades.
Pennsylvania and Michigan, where they can't possibly do that.
And he knows Trump is true to his word. He's Georgia, at the end of the day, he's a very decent
man. To Wisconsin, to Nevada, where the same thing happened, to Arizona. It's very, very curious that, on Tuesday night, the president was way ahead by 800,000 votes in Pennsylvania, 5% in Michigan, 8% in Wisconsin. And by the next morning, because of things like this, the votes being brought in the middle of the night, the whole thing had changed.
Well, there are people.
It happened in all these places. It can't be a coincidence that they decided they would exclude Republican observers in every one of these places at exactly the same time.
Okay, so in Pennsylvania, you have already filed suit regarding these allegations, correct? Do you know when you would get some sort of answer on that issue?
Well, it's up to the court, and of course, it has to be done on an expedited basis. We have to have an opportunity to call the witnesses. We have 50 of them, but their testimony is rather short, and it's all in affidavit form already. We have to make a record and then hopefully bring it to the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. At the same time, we'll be moving ahead in Lansing, Michigan. There's already been a private case filed in Michigan 2 days ago, similar to ours, but not as complete.
And how many states total have you made or plan to make allegations similar to this?
I would say anywhere from 8 to 10.
Okay.
All of them are states in which we have one common allegation and then different things. The common allegation is that when they started counting these new mail-in votes, they excluded Republicans from observing. They put Republicans mostly in corrals that were 20 and 30 feet away and wouldn't allow us to see most, if at all, any of the ballots.
And what kind of remedy?
What kind of things like we have these ballots that are brought in the middle of the night. We have backdated ballots.
Right.
The ballots had to end on November 3rd, according to Justice Alito. We have thousands and thousands and thousands that have been backdated, and we have witnesses for all of them.
Okay.
So we have numerous instances of fraud, but the common theme is excluding Republicans in 10 different places. And the same system was used. Has to have been a common objective.
Now, if the states come back and say, yes, they were allowed to observe, or even though they were not permitted to observe as you would wish, what do you think the remedy should be? Throwing out every ballot, throwing out the ones involved with that? What would you expect a remedy to be?
First of all, the states aren't going to come back and say they weren't counted the way we wish. They weren't counted based on the law of the state. Each one of these states.
Amen to that.
So how does it resolve itself? If they come out, if they were to say, you're absolutely right, that is what happened, and of course we know there'll be arguments against that.
Yeah, that's strange.
But
I
if they
remember
say,
that.
yes, you're
Like
right,
he was giving us
how do you think this
a way
resolves
to
itself?
tell us emergency.
Well, first of all, the votes can't be certified then. The state legislature can't certify an unlawful vote count.
So the state would not certify it, and then what would happen after that?
What we would ask for is that you deduct in those counties the number of votes that we have proven were unlawfully examined.
Okay.
So it's easy. It's easiest in Pennsylvania because we've done the arithmetic. We can count 633,000 votes that were submitted without any observation by a neutral observer, and certainly not by a Republican.
Okay.
In Detroit.
Okay, so there's all that. That's the end of it. Second, I want to go to, hang on. There's a couple of things. See, the evidence is signed up. I'm so mad that it's not on there anymore. Oh, it makes me so mad. I had that perfect thing for us to do. Okay. This was just a little bit ago, guys, just so you know. This was a little while, like a couple hours
Thank you for
ago.
choosing the Next News Network. After this report, I want you to head on over to nextnewsnetwork.com for a special message. The link is in the description below. Now, let's get to the news. Got some big news for you right now. 2 states just handed President Trump big wins. It happened last night, proving that conceding the election is not an option. Before I get into the news, if you are new here, tap the red button down below to subscribe, then hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when the latest news is published. Zachary Steiber for the Epoch Times reports that President Donald Trump won the state of Alaska and North Carolina in the 2020 election. That's according to a projection on November 11th. Let's take a look now at MSNBC reporting on the breaking news of Trump's Alaska win.
We've got breaking news. As we have been speaking, NBC News has projected President Trump as the winner of the state of Alaska, a state that was still counting ballots. Republican Senator Dan Sullivan also held on to his Senate seat there.
3 electoral votes is what Alaska is worth.
Absolutely.
North Carolina, 15 votes. That's according to the decision desk who projected those wins. Of course, they haven't been certified yet, much like the battleground states. They state here that Georgia and Arizona remain undeclared by many organizations. Georgia is now headed for a recount, and it's possible a recount will happen in Arizona as well as Wisconsin. Legal battles are also playing out in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada as the Trump campaign and others allege irregularities and possible fraud, as well as potentially unconstitutional measures related to the election. And unlike AP and Fox and CNN and others, Epoch Times is not calling the race until numerous election-related legal battles
That's right.
play out.
Epoch Times
So
don't
congratulations,
play. Told
Donald
you guys
Trump
that the other
on
day.
Arizona and North Carolina. We knew.
That's right.
Alaska and North
We
Carolina.
all knew
Arizona.
our
We're
legal
still
voting
waiting.
day.
We still have hope.
We all
There
knew
is
that.
a razor-thin margin there. So once
We
all
knew
these
they were
recounts
using
go into play,
Corona to try
I'm
to make
confident that
all
President
these
Trump
extra early
win
voting days
many
and
of those
this
states,
mail-in
including
bullshit
Pennsylvania,
and
take
it was
the
vote
Oval
early
Office
and count
yet again.
late. That's what they
Comment
did with
below.
Corona.
We'll see you at the next report for the Next News
We
Network.
know that.
I'm Gary Franchi.
Sure.
Thank you for watching that report. As you know, the United States is facing its most viciously fought election in decades, and it's
Okay. And hang on, let me get rid of that because I want to make sure I showed you that. This is what's going on in my state, just so you're aware.
First story I want to talk about today is Governor Cuomo's new lockdowns or restrictions.
Shout out
whatever you
Anomaly.
wanna
Go
call them.
subscribe.
I'm just going to read a little bit of what he's doing.
Awesome.
Governor
Very
Cuomo
cool.
orders restaurants, bars to close at 10 p.m. amid COVID-19 uptick. It says that he's additionally announcing a new 10-person cap on parties and other gatherings in private residences, including apartments and
that?
houses.
Meaning they're going to have some system of people spying on residents and the amount of people that are in their homes at any given time, I'm sure around the holidays especially.
Seems to be saying if that doesn't work, he'll threaten further measures that could be on the table, including nixing indoor dining at bars and restaurants to get the spread of COVID-19 under control. So he's threatening further sort of lockdowns or orders, whatever you want to call them. I mean, they got a name for it: social distancing, public health measures. But really what they're doing is destroying small businesses. They're just completely crushing independent mom and pop shops, and Amazon and Facebook and all of
Walmart.
these big tech conglomerates, Lyft and Uber.
And they're
just swallowing everything up. They already were, but now they're just rapidly growing as they make it virtually impossible to run and compete with them. Isn't that suspicious? But you can't think about it if you question it. They prepared. We're just going to tempt their liars, but we should never. We're going to stop the
I don't want to
spread.
steal his whole
We're going
video.
to, permanently slow it forever. Their logic was, we're not sure if the hospitals can keep up with this, so we're just going to temporarily try to slow the spread for 15 days to let our hospitals get prepared. Have countries' death per capita, which is death scaled by population size. So if you're a small situation like San Marino,
We're 10.
you could still be number one because they're scaling it
10.
to population.
10, guys. We're number 10. We're not number 1, as Joe Biden made it seem like during the election. We're 10th in the number 10 in the number of deaths per million. It's a little sad the way they made it seem, huh? I'm more worried about my daughter bringing home the flu this year than Corona. The only thing that scares me is this mutation that's going on of everybody needs to look up coronavirus mutation, Denmark mink farms. They killed 18 million mink, you guys. Killed 18 million mink because they found a coronavirus mutation that jumped to humans and infected over 250 humans that were in contact with these minks. Check it out. The problem with this mutation is it causes the vaccine that they want us to take. It causes the vaccine, your body to think the vaccine is basically an invader. And so this new corona mutation actually attacks the antibodies that the vaccine makes so that no vaccine that we take will work if this mutation takes hold. So they say. That's where this is starting, guys. The narrative is starting for this in Netherlands and Denmark. No, yes, the Netherlands and Denmark. Yes, he killed many near me, John. Many in a nursing home close to me. Matter of fact, I'm going to be very honest with you. In one nursing home that was completely full to capacity, during the 6 months of coronavirus, over 75% of his patients died. 75%.
These are the top countries right now. Number 1 is San Marino. They had a lockdown. Number 2 is Belgium. They moved up to number 2. They had a lockdown, and they also have new measures, I think, at the end of October that they implemented. Peru is number 3, which had the world's strictest lockdown. Andorra, number 4. Spain, number 5, had lockdowns. Brazil, number 6. Chile, number 7, had lockdowns.
All the places that had lockdowns were in the top 10. of the most deaths. Not the least, the most. I just wanted everybody to see that. The asinine people who are in charge, who keep forcing these policies down our throat, are only making it worse. I don't know where he got that, but I'm glad I showed that. That's what I wanted to show that. Okay, a Wisconsin lawmaker says the Electoral College should reject the results, paving way for a Trump win. I want to watch this one with you guys. I think you'd feel. I don't know if anybody watches this, but I really like this guy. Him and really graceful. I like them both. Felix Rex, guys, check him out.
This is the next video in my ongoing election analysis. While not as technically visual as my regular videos, the information is just as pertinent and I believe needed in a timely manner. My usual videos are still being produced, one just yesterday on Japan, link is in the description for that video, as well as others that are upcoming. But these short bulletins will continue for the duration of this contest. Now, for 4 years, the Democrats have squealed. They have squealed that President Donald Trump and the entire administration that he runs is illegitimate. Cretinous corporate mainstream media and their propagandists
You guys see
that they call journalists cooked up the false Russia collusion
Fox
hoax
News.
and explained
Joe
the
Biden elected
only
president.
possible way that Hillary Clinton could ever have lost in 2016 must have been because of Russian collusion with Mr. Trump, and is being blocked as information across social media, Twitter in particular, but also on YouTube and also on Facebook, among others.
Just skipping around for a minute.
In fact,
Trying to find what I was looking here.
President Trump
Dang it.
himself wasn't even allowed to. Is voting of his base of thought leaders
Here we go.
were by mail safe? Well, this year, 37 states have changed their mail-in voting procedures.
37.
And they've done so in response
That's what I want you to hear. Listen.
to the coronavirus, of course. They have followed the lead of Democrats and the media, as well as social media, these states, who claim that the concerns about voter fraud and vote buying are figments of a deluded Republican imagination. The idea that there's any ability to corrupt the vote is again met with, you are obviously a deranged mind with conspiratorial ideas. Interestingly, Trump has again and again and again stated for months that mail-in voting is fraught with danger and mixed in with fraud. However, as always, the controlled corporate mainstream media, along with big tech, has stated that these warnings are baseless. They are figments of Trump's imagination. They are conspiracy theories without evidence. If you take a look, AP says that Trump's view of flawed voting is baseless. The Washington Post, the election.
Oops.
It's like he had says exactly the same thing. Mail-in voting is safe, secure, and convenient. And in that article, they explain how mail-in voting is
Twitter hides Trump
absolutely safe,
about
and that
disappearing
studies
me.
and polling are very reliable indices when looking at the current election. And I'm not even going to get into polls for this election that just passed, or studies anymore, especially in anything that has to do with the social sciences. As you can also see right here, another one by the BBC, U.S. Election Research Center. And his organization created a database on voting rules from around the world. And what I'd like to do right now is take a look at those numbers. Now, besides the United States, there are 36 members of the OECD, or the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. 47% of those countries outright ban mail-in voting unless the citizen is living abroad. 30% of those countries
My hand's not
require
even on
a
it.
photo ID to obtain a mail-in ballot, and 14% of the countries
Oh,
ban mail-in voting, even for those that live abroad. In addition, some of those countries that allow voting
I'll have to
by
check on
mail
that, TM.
for
Thanks.
some
Let me know that.
citizens living in the country don't always
I figured there'd be an outcry.
allow it for everyone. For example, here in Japan, but also in Poland, they have limited mail-in voting for those that have special certificates verifying
Okay,
by their
you
mainstream
guys, that's all I
corporate
wanted
media
to get out of
masters.
that one because the rest, I don't want to steal all. Like, I don't like taking people's content. I'll hear certain things while I'm watching it, and I'll be like, oh, I got to let people hear that. And what I wanted you to hear was the 37. There was 37 states that changed their election rules this election. That's almost every state, guys, and I'm sure all of the swing states. Yes, science is provable, math is solvable, the election is very understandable if people just sit down and understand the law, the election laws, the Constitution, all of it. You need to know a little bit about all of it, and you have to have a little bit of passion to want to know because it is very confusing. A lot of weasel words in there, shit like that. But if you really are interested enough in something, you will find a way to get information that you do understand. All right, guys, I think 2 hours is about what I'm going to do tonight. Thank you. I love you. 2.5 hours. I'm going to be back in the morning. We're going to do the Millennial Millie review on the documentary of hers, Spygate 2.0. Probably somewhere between 11 and 1. I'll post it. You'll find it in my posted section on my page. And then tomorrow night, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be back with a political piece or I may have the first 2 hour series on the Kanika question and answer thing ready to at least put up and test run. We'll see. It depends. It depends on what's the day? What is tomorrow? Tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday? I lost track. I'm sure I'll be able to do both. I love you more, John. You're amazing. And I love Finest. And I love everyone who just stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning listening to me. And I hope I helped just get you through another evening with the negativity of I love drinking MAGA tears. Well, he didn't love to drink much because I didn't let one go for him. So wherever he went, oh, wow, we have each other. We know what's going on. Trump's knowing what's going on. We just have to not give them what they want, and that's a reaction. They want a violent reaction from us so they can say, see, look at them. No. Because when this is all said and done, we got a plan right now how we're going to react 3 to 4 weeks from now or however long it takes when they finally say President Trump won this election, whether it be the Supreme Court, whether it be the House of Delegates. It doesn't matter who finally makes this decision. What are they going to do? They meaning the lunatics. And how are we going to keep ourselves and our family safe? Love you.